What up, everybody? What up, everybody? What up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 33 of AC Reviews the World, and I am your host, AC the Engineer. Let's give it a round of applause. It is finally Saturday, August 23rd, and it's 8 a.m. in the morning. Hope everybody's having gonna have a good weekend. Hope everybody had a good night's sleep. But hey, early bird catches the worm, so it's time to get up. It's time for some news we got to talk about. It's time to get everything rolling for the weekend. Hopefully you got some good plans. Hopefully you're just gonna relax, and hey, or if you got to work, hey, get that make that money. That's the main thing. Make that money if you got to. But I'm off, so all I'm gonna be doing is mostly video editing and relaxing, and just looking up new stories to bring to everybody. So, but we got a couple of things to go over today. We got a tour bus crash. You got some Detroit hospital shootings. We got to talk about that. And then you also got a wide variety of things. We also got something to where bubonic plague, I believe we found it in Lake Tahoe of California. So wild situations going on, but we got to talk about it. We got to review what we always do. We got to review the world together. But like always, please remember to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You can follow me on Instagram. And then, if you feel like you've seen any stories that you want us to talk about, send it to my email. It's acreviewstheworld. It's very easy at gmail.com. Just keep it all the same with the dot after the A and the dot after the C. acreviewstheworld. But without further ado, y'all, I like to jump right into it because I don't like to dilly-dally. Don't like to dilly-dally. So if you come in afterwards or after we've already started, you can go ahead and start it back up. But hey, let's jump right into it. The first thing we're going to get into today is the tour bus crash. So, yeah, we got to go over to the tour bus crash. So looks like there was a deadly tour bus crash that was going from Niagara Falls to New York City. So we're going to jump right over to that and see what all that's talking about. I believe the death toll right now is up to 5 from the most recent report. So we're going through a couple videos of these up to the most recent one that I could find. So let's get into it.
And welcome back to Live Now from Fox as we continue to follow some more breaking news here. And I did want to give you this live look that we are just getting in here from our Fox 5 New York team. We're learning right now that police are saying several people are dead in a crash involving a tour bus headed to New York City on the New York Thruway. That was today. New York State Police said there were also entrapments and injuries as well. The town of Pembroke told Fox News that firefighters reported up to 52 patients. So what we're learning right now is police are saying this bus rolled after the collision. It rolled over, which did occur in Pembroke, located about 30 miles east of Buffalo. Police also said the bus was returning to New York City after a trip to Niagara Falls. New York Governor Kathy Hochul said in a post that she has been briefed on this situation, and the cause of the crash has not been determined as of right now. So I did just want to share this post with you here from Fox 5 New York. Police are reporting multiple fatalities in a crash involving a tour bus headed to New York City, as we are just bringing you this information. Once again, this is a developing story here, so we're hoping that we may get a press conference of some sort that we can bring you here on Live Now from Fox once we do learn some more information here. But once again, sharing that live look here with you as we are getting this into our newsroom. We do know, as I just said here, several people sadly have been reported dead after this tour bus that was headed to New York City has crashed.
Now, like I said, like I always say, the main thing is that we pray for the victims, no matter who the victims was. Pray for the victims, and we need to just keep their family in our prayers because it's an unexpected situation, and you never expect this to happen. So, people are going to be grieving. So hopefully, like always, if you're grieving in any kind of situation, please go seek help. But let's get over into this next video, just breaking down more details of it. So let's get into it.
Good day. I'm Tom Costello. I'm in for Hallie, and as we said, we start with a lot of breaking news. This mass casualty response. Emergency responders from multiple towns are digging through the wreckage of a horrific, deadly accident on the New York Thruway. This is the scene right there. A tour bus toppled over after crashing into a semi-truck. We know from one fire department that multiple people are reported dead, including a child. Police say the tour bus was on its way back to New York City from Niagara Falls. 52 people on board. In just the last few minutes, we got an update from doctors at one of the hospitals treating some of the victims. They say they saw 24 patients, some of whom needed surgery. These pictures taken by another driver show the bus laying on its side in the middle of the highway. Dozens injured. Some were trapped in and, in fact, under the bus. The accident happened in northern New York, east of Buffalo, shutting down that busy thruway in both directions. And we're getting to listen now to some of the first moments when the fire and EMS teams got the call.
Now, I don't like to stop it too much, but I can't imagine being trapped in the bus. Trapped in the bus. People are crying, screaming. God, and then a little kid as well. I believe they said the little kid lost his life, but let's keep going.
Squad 1 and Pembroke Command, we're getting reports of a total of 52 patients, multiple severe injuries, several still trapped, 52 patients. Alexander, Mercy BLS 4, 9-year-old female followed with a head injury, 3717.
Let's get right now to NBC's Maya Eaglin, who's following the story. And Maya, do we know how all of this happened, and what more do we know about the condition of the victims?
Yeah, hey, Tom. So state troopers say that this all happened as that tour bus somehow lost control going down that busy roadway. It hit a median and somehow toppled on its side. We're hearing that most people on board weren't wearing their seatbelts, and that's why officials say almost everyone had some type of injury. Of course, they wanted to treat the most severe first. They said several people were ejected from this bus. We don't know exactly how many people were injured or have died yet, but at the Erie County Medical Center, they have 24 of those patients actively receiving care. 2 of those people are in surgery right now. 2 others are at the trauma center. Tom?
So the tour bus lost control. That's what they're saying, that the tour bus lost control and ended up going into the meeting and I guess crashing into the truck, the semi-truck.
I got a note that the NTSB is also sending a team to help with the investigation. Do we know anything more about the people on this bus? Were they all related? Were they part of a group that was going to or from a particular gathering at Niagara Falls?
Yeah, so we do know that the people on this bus spoke many different languages, and that's presented a challenge here for investigators and emergency response people. They said they've been having a hard time communicating, translating, using apps to try and get more information from the people involved. I can also tell you that the driver is alive and okay. He's also cooperating with officials. As you mentioned, the National Transportation Safety Board launching a formal investigation. We'll be watching it all to get some more answers. Tom?
Yeah, just horrific. And multiple towns responding with their fire departments and police departments as well. Maya, thank you very much.
We thank you for watching.
Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But they said that a lot of them can't speak English. So that is a problem that especially when you're trying to talk to getting injuries. So you got to go through and try to figure out, get an interpreter in there, trying to figure out where they're exactly hurt at. A bunch of problems come from not being able to speak English. But let's get over into this next video about this. Let's see what it's talking about.
We want to keep you in New York now and getting an update now from the state police there on the horrific bus crash that happened earlier today. We are getting the latest right now.
All good back there? Good afternoon. Unfortunately, not a good afternoon or good evening. My name is Andre Ray, Major New York State Police, Troop Commander of Troop T. And this afternoon on I-90 in the town of Pembroke, an absolute tragedy took place. And first and foremost, our thoughts, prayers, and hearts go out to those involved, their friends, and their family. At approximately 12:22 p.m. today, a tour bus owned by M&Y Tour Inc. out of Staten Island was carrying 54 people in total. 2 of those being operators and employees of the bus company, 52 being passengers. The passengers range in age from 1 to 74 years old. While heading eastbound just before exit 48A, the operator lost control of the bus, exiting the roadway and rolling the tour bus. Tragically, multiple people were ejected from the bus, with 5 people deceased at the scene. Multiple individuals were taken to Erie County Medical Center, Strong Memorial, Millard Fillmore, and UMMR in Batavia. The cause of the collision is still under investigation. However, mechanical failure as well as operator impairment have been ruled out at this time. The operator has been cooperative, and with the investigation still underway, no charges have been filed at this point. The Red Cross has established a family reunification center at Amherst Senior Center. The phone number to that, for those in need, is 716-898-3696. I'll say that again. It's 716-898-3696.
Okay, so the first thing that popped in my mind, he said there was no user impairment and no mechanical error. So
that is the Amherst Senior Center. I'd like to thank our partners in local, county, and federal, both law enforcement, fire, and EMS, for their assistance today. I'd like to ask anyone with information, whether it be an eyewitness account or dash cam footage that could help us in this investigation, contact Troop A, SP Batavia at 585-344-6200. Again, that's 585-344-6200. In closing, again, I ask you all to please give the families their privacy, their time to mourn and grieve their lost loved ones, as well as pray for and keep in your thoughts and mind those involved, as well as their families and their friends. At this point, I'll take a few questions. I do not have the exact ages. However, no children passed away. Yes, initially it was believed that a child had passed away, but further investigation has deemed that to be false. There were children transported to the hospital. Many people have subsequently been released from the hospital. I'm unaware of any serious physical injuries to children at this point. Their points of origin vary. The bus, again, was coming from New York City initially to the American side of Niagara Falls, and then now was returning to Niagara Falls in New York, or returning to New York City. And what was the name of that? M as in Mary, and Y as in young. Yeah, so M and Y. M as in Mary.
Like an ampersand?
Yes.
Okay, M and Y.
Tour Inc.
Out of
Staten Island. Yes.
Okay. And were they just coming up to Niagara Falls and back? Was that the plan? Or?
They had already been to Niagara Falls, and yes, they were returning.
Can you talk about the scale of this? I mean, is this the worst plane crash when it was casualties?
Tragically, there, in the many years of the Thruway, there's been several horrific accidents, with this being one of them, which is why the New York State Police are actively out enforcing the speed laws, move-over laws, DWIs. We are dedicated to ensuring public safety. That is one of our mission statements, to ensuring highway safety. That is one of our mission statements.
You said they were heading east, so how did the accident occur? Did they hit another vehicle?
Nope. At this point, and again, it's still under investigation. It's believed the operator became distracted, lost control, overcorrected, and ended up.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes, especially with these big buses and things like this. These big buses, and then if you're speeding, very fast cars, if you overcorrect, it can be deadly. It's very deadly, but let's keep going into this. I'll watch a little bit more of this.
On the right shoulder there.
Are there any
The investigation is still underway, so it's too early to state whether or not charges will take place.
distracted by what? In rescuing people, or, with one inside, at a crane. Could you talk about that?
Yes, it took an extensive amount of effort from our first responders, both fire and EMS, along with partnering with the tow companies. So again, a debt of gratitude is owed to them and the hard work that they do.
Describe to us the bus we saw was flipped back upright, and it looks like it's been taken out of here. Where was it taken to? Is it evidence? Can you speak about that?
Yes, it's been towed as evidence back to SP Batavia.
Do you know what distracted the driver?
We have suspicions, but it's still under investigation at this time.
I wonder what distracted.
At this point, no other vehicles are believed to have been involved.
All 5 people that passed away were passengers, not part of the operation.
That is my understanding, yes.
Is there anything more you can share about the conditions of the other people who were taken to the hospital?
My last update, no one else was in a life-threatening status. Multiple people were treated and subsequently released already.
I also want to clarify one point. You said operator error was ruled out, but
No, I'm sorry, mechanical error was ruled out, as well as impairment or intoxication. Yes.
Do you mean like by a cell phone or like another driver? Or...
Not by another operator. Nothing outside of the vehicle.
Did you see origin of the 5 people?
Excuse me?
About the origin of the 5 people who died?
I don't know their specific origin. However, the occupants of the bus hailed from a variety of places across the world, from China, India, the Philippines, and the Middle East as well as American.
Okay. Well, we got the gist of everything. It was a wide variety of races on the bus. Many couldn't, or I think majority of them, hard for them to speak English or could not speak English. But in total, it looks like 5 people have died, no children, but it seems to be that might be the last person to die. Is the death toll to stop at 5 for this crash. But 54 people in total was involved in this crash. And for some reason, the driver got distracted. But let's get over into this last shorter video, just the most recent video that I could find posted about it. So let's
New details in that deadly bus accident in Western New York.
That bus was headed here to New York City when it crashed.
Tonight, we learned a 5th person has now died, and the NTSB is sending a GO team to the crash site.
It happened on the New York Thruway, just about 25 miles east of Buffalo. Eyewitness News reporter Stefan Kim with the new details.
It is a full-size tour bus laying on its side after rolling over near Buffalo and ejecting multiple passengers.
We have a tour bus with 52 passengers. Mostly foreign speaking. We have people ejected and people possibly under the bus.
The passengers on board, tourists from India, China, the Philippines, and the Middle East, as well as Americans.
An absolute tragedy took place.
5 people were killed, 54 were on board, including 2 bus employees, the occupants, ranging in age from 1 to 74 years old. Dozens were injured, some airlifted for treatment.
We currently have 20 of those patients actively receiving treatment.
We have some folks that have some head injuries.
State police say the bus originated out of New York City, registered to MNY Tour Incorporated, based in Staten Island. Investigators say it was on its way back after visiting the American side of Niagara Falls when the driver suddenly veered, hit the median, crossed into the shoulder, then flipped. It happened around 12:30 this afternoon on the New York State Thruway in the town of Pembroke in Genesee County.
Most people, I'm assuming, on the bus did not have a seatbelt on. That is the reason why we have so many ejected people on this bus.
It's believed the operator became distracted, lost control, overcorrected. Mechanical error was ruled out, as well as impairment or intoxication.
Police say the driver is cooperating with the investigation. No charges are being filed at this point. We reached out to the bus company, but have not heard back. Stefan Kim, Channel 7.
Absolutely crazy. They came for a tour, many different groups, India, Asia, all came for a tour of the Niagara Falls, and then it ended up in tragedy. The 5 people losing their lives. Main thing, we gotta, like we always say, we gotta pray for the family, pray for the victims, pray for anybody who's grieving right now, and hopefully they can make their way through it, or they need to make their way through it. But absolutely tragic, absolutely tragic. Now we got to pivot over into the Detroit hospital. So at the Detroit hospital, a man kills his ex-wife at the Detroit hospital. So we got a couple of videos to go over with that, and let's see what it's all about. Let's get into it. Let's get right into it.
The hours-long search continues for a gunman suspected of killing his ex-wife at Henry Ford Hospital in Detroit. Police are looking for 53-year-old Mario Green, last seen walking out the front door at the hospital. His car found abandoned and still no sight of him anywhere. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jessica Dupnack.
And Brandon Hudson, Fox News' Camille Amiri has been on the ground since the shooting happened. She joins us with the very latest. Camille, what have you learned?
Yeah, I mean, this has been a very tense day for a lot of people. This all started around 9:55 this morning. I want you to take a look at the picture the police released of Mario Green, the surveillance image of him that they released very early on. Of course, we've got video too on the scene. What police have been telling us since the very beginning is that Mario Green, according to investigators, walked into Henry Ford Hospital, went into the basement, and shot his ex-wife. Now, this was considered an armed gunman situation. Police did not know if he was targeting other people. I apologize for the noise. Didn't know if other people were in danger, so they basically put the hospital on lockdown and searched every room, every nook and cranny, every closet, every floor, and determined pretty quickly on that he was no longer in the hospital. But then, of course, where was Mario Green? That was the million-dollar question. That is the million-dollar question the police are still asking. They've got boots on the ground all over Detroit and the metropolitan area, all points bulletin, looking for this man. He is described as wearing all black, a gold chain, a pinkish backpack that he was wearing. You saw that in the image. Now, we did get a chance to talk to people who were inside the hospital at the time. The man you're about to hear from, his wife, his girlfriend, I should say, had just given birth to their baby boy. Take a listen.
Well, first thing, we're not going to pause it too much, but what can drive a man to go into the hospital and to kill his ex-wife? There's a lot of things that come to mind, but we don't know. We don't know it all, but absolutely crazy, and he deserves to be in the jail. Let's keep going. Let's get into it.
I was just getting back from getting coffee. I was getting food because my girlfriend, she just had our son. As I was walking to get on the elevator to go to the maternity unit, I just heard a bunch of people screaming. At the time, I didn't know it was an active shooter. I just knew it was a bunch of screaming going on. So I didn't know what really was going on until I actually turned the news on in the room. I went to the window to look to see what was going on, and I just seen a bunch of police running in here. And then I seen a couple of them, they had, like, you know, the AKs and the guns, and they were running in and out.
And Henry Ford releasing a very lengthy statement saying in part that at Henry Ford Health, we are family. We are devastated by the loss of our Henry Ford Hospital teammate, and our hearts go out to her loved ones, her family, friends, and the people she worked with every day. Police have confirmed this was a targeted and domestic attack. At this time, all questions regarding what occurred should be directed to the Detroit Police Department. We are cooperating fully with the investigation as they conduct, and we are conducting our own internal investigation as well. Now, right now, police at the hospital not releasing the name of the woman, but we have learned that she worked in the housekeeping division of the hospital. Coming up at 6 o'clock, you'll hear from one of her coworkers who is absolutely devastated. Reporting live, Camille Amiri, Fox 2 News.
Camille, that is a lot to take in. One of my first questions, though, is how could someone get into the hospital with a weapon like this? Is there...
That is a good question. That is a very good question. Because the last time I've been to a hospital, I've definitely went through metal detectors. The policeman sitting right there asking me, take everything out your pockets. Maybe he snuck in. I'm assuming maybe he could have, because if his ex-wife worked there, he could have had a way to get in without going through the metal detectors. It's very possible. But let's watch a little bit more.
Any indication about security protocol that may have been breached here?
Yeah, and that's a really good question, Jessica, and it's one of the things that we ask. Of course, police are reviewing everything, but there is, and I hate to say this because we don't have this confirmed, but there is talk on the streets that maybe he actually worked here. Now, I don't know if that's for sure, but if that were the case, someone said that he would be able to scan himself into the basement because there's no way to go down in there unless you've got a scan card. So that could be a piece of the puzzle, but of course, that's not confirmed. That's speculation, but it is important to point out because you and I both know that when you go to the hospital, you have to go through security and guns are not allowed. So how did he get that gun? Was he able to circumvent somehow? Because did he have security clearance in this hospital? A lot of unanswered questions, but police right now trying to figure out exactly where he is. And I know Hillary Goldston, our colleague, has more on that, but for now I'm going to send it back to you.
We're not going to watch the rest of this, but please go check it out. But we got a couple of videos to go through. This next video, let's get into it.
Yeah, so we are joined by Commander, is that right?
Deputy Chief
Arnold. I'm sorry, I have the wrong title. Deputy Chief, what can you tell us? Kind of give us an overview and kind of give me the latest.
About 10 a.m. we had a call that we had an active shooter at Henry Ford Hospital. Units got to the scene. We started an investigation. We started going right into our active shooter protocols. We were able to go into the building, locate a female who was shot fatally, and then we were able to build out the story from there. Currently, we're still clearing the hospital to make sure there are no other victims possibly located anywhere else in the hospital. And from all the information in the video we received, the suspect he fled the location prior to us getting here. When the officers...
At 65, you're going through and doing something like this? At 65? You're supposed to be relaxing at 65. Or at least I want to be relaxing at 65. Now you're going to risk being in jail for the rest of your life because you killed your ex-wife at the hospital? Absolutely crazy. Let's keep going.
Got here, you can see we still have the area pretty much cordoned off. We are putting out information that our suspect is in his 50s. His name is Mario Green. He fled this location in a white Charger, I'm sorry. So that's pretty much where we are right now. So we're looking for him. We know who he is. We have his identity, and we'll be probably releasing this picture to the media very soon.
Yeah, and I do believe we have that picture. I know described as 6'4", wearing black, a gold chain, pink backpack. Obviously, that is someone who would definitely stand out in the crowd if he's still wearing that, and also because he is so tall.
Yes, that's 100% true.
And obviously, you guys have cleared. You know that he's not here, but I imagine using all your assets trying to find him throughout the entire Metro Detroit area and beyond.
That's exactly correct. Here we have a lot of federal partners. We have the ATF, we have state police, we have Southfield police, we have police from all agencies here, as well as the fire department here at this location, but we're also actively looking for him in a couple different locations as well.
What should people do if they see him, if they know him, anything? What is your advice to the public right now?
So if you see him, if you see Mario Green, if you see his vehicle, call 911. Let him know where you saw him, what he's doing, and that's all we ask.
And I have to say, too, that, you know, the level of commitment, but how quickly you guys have worked on this case. I mean, it's impressive. At the end of the day, I said, you know, earlier in our last show that it's horrible that this woman was killed, but the fact that you guys figured out who he was, got a picture out to the media, got the plate out to the media, got the description, you know, that says a lot for your department.
Yes, and again, our department put a lot into it, but we had a lot of help. Michigan State Police, the ATF, we had a lot of assistance with this. We all know how important it is to secure our local infrastructures, hospitals being one of the most important. So we want to make sure everybody knows that they are safe and that we will respond quickly to any issue that we have.
Anything else that you want to update us on? Obviously, right now, this scene has been cleared, and that's why we're seeing police. We're seeing people behind us right now hugging. I don't know if those are family members of the victims, but you have to imagine that this is such a tragedy for a lot of people who knew this woman, who were related to this woman. I mean, this is a very, very sad day for a lot of people.
Very much so. Our heart goes out to the family that lost one of their loved ones. And again, everything we're doing right now, we're still in the process of clearing the hospital. So once the hospital cleared and we're ensuring that there are no other victims, we'll be opening the hospital back up. But again, our hearts go out to the family.
Okay.
Absolutely crazy. We're not going to watch the whole thing of this, but yeah, it's good that the police and everybody came together, because you got to. There's nothing, you can't just sit around and no, everybody has to be on point. Someone just got into the hospital and killed someone? Yes, no. Every unit, every police, fire, anybody who's working or police officers need to be out there looking for this man. And I'm happy that they was able to get his photo, get it out to the media and everything like that. Now, the next video about this we're going to get into, it looks like that she asked for, let's go over to, hold on. We'll go over to this next video. It looks like she was asking, hold on, close that. She asked for protection against him. So we're going to get over into that next video and see what it's talking about. Let's get into it.
This is not the first time the man accused of fatally shooting his ex-wife has been in trouble with the law.
We have also learned that the woman who lost her life in today's shooting filed for a personal protection order just last month that was never served. 7 investigator Ross Jones joining us live.
Did they just say it was never served?
Right now here in studio with how in the world this could have happened.
Yeah, a lot of questions that need to be answered. Good evening to you both. Mario Green was convicted of aggravated stalking back in 2001 and spent 6 years in prison for arson before his 2012 release. But much more recently, his ex-wife said he posed an immediate danger to her, and she went before a judge to stop him.
The cries for help from Latricia Green could be seen in black and white. First, in a personal protection order sought on June 13th, when she said her ex-husband Mario Green was stalking her, that he continued to call my job and threatened to meet employees outside, and showed up to my job and tried to enter my office without my approval to get to me. The judge denied that PPO, but just over a month later, on July 20th, Latricia would seek another. This time, she said her ex-husband's behavior had escalated. Since I was denied, she said, he has now been able to break into my car and cut up my clothes, shoes, and steal belongings from me. And he followed me on multiple occasions and has tried to break my car window. I noticed him following me from Oak Park all the way back to the city and on Woodward and the Boulevard. He continued to try and turn his car into mine and block me off. He has continued to call my job and said he will not stop or stop coming after me. I have tried to be cordial, she said, because I feel that the system has now let me down each time that I have tried to make reports on this man. My father was murdered, and now with this situation, I am now in mental distress and scared, not knowing what to do. I have to constantly look over my shoulder to make sure this man is not following me to hurt me like he has done in the past with physical abuse.
So he was physically abusive, and they say they didn't serve the protection warrant?
I am asking for help before this goes too far, she wrote, and things are too late.
Wow.
This time, the judge granted the PPO, deeming Mario Green to pose a threat to his ex-wife. But there was a problem, according to DPD Assistant Chief Charles Fitzgerald.
Unfortunately, it was not served on her ex-husband, so it almost brings us here today.
You mean to tell me it was not served to the ex-husband? And now a month later, she ends up getting killed by him in the hospital at her job. She told the people that she was fearing for her life. She was fearing for her life. Why wasn't it served? Could they not find him? That's crazy, man. Let's finish up this video.
Well, according to Wayne County's website, a PPO can be served through a process server or court officer, a third party, or by certified mail. We do not know if Latricia Green pursued any of those methods or if they would have made a difference at the end of the day. But it is so terrifying to read that she more or less predicted this.
It makes your heart sink just listening to you say how many times she pleaded with the court for help and help to save her life.
She clearly saw this coming.
She saw it coming. She knew what would happen. She stated, before it goes too far, please grant it. They did grant it, but they didn't serve it to him. So, but would it have made it? That's the question. Would it have made any difference? I don't know. I don't know if it would have made any difference at all. But let's get over into this last video of dealing with this. Absolutely tragic, y'all. It's absolutely tragic. Let's keep
Fox News' Lauren Edwards. She picks up the story. She is live tonight with the very latest. Lauren, what have you learned at this hour?
Brandon, Jessica, I can tell you that hunt is on. They're looking for Detroit police, Michigan State police, and other agencies working together, working around the clock, looking for 53-year-old Mario Green. Let's take a look at security video image of him. Now, police say he's 6'4", wearing all black and a gold chain, and they say he walked into the basement of Henry Ford Hospital at 9:55 and allegedly shot and killed his ex-wife, Latricia Green. He then left in a white Dodge Charger, that was located near Trojan Avenue and Losser Avenue later this afternoon. And Fox 2 has since learned that Latricia had an active PPO out against him after filing for it, get this, twice. The first time she was denied, the second time he wasn't served yet. And sources confirmed to Fox 2 that he called the hospital around 50 times and showed up as well. And a coworker says as soon as she found out about what happened today, she fell apart.
She did everything for everybody at Henry Ford. She was a nice person. She never harmed nobody. She never did anything.
It was chaos. People didn't know what to do. They was standing around, and they said lockdown. They started running through the hall. The nurses and the doctor, they started running through different places.
We're actively looking for him. He is presumed to be armed and dangerous.
Henry Ford Hospital behind me, they too released a statement saying that they are family and that they are devastated by what happened. If you want to read the full statement, you can head to fox2detroit.com. And again, though, if you have seen Mr. Green out anywhere, please contact police as soon as possible. Reporting live here in Detroit, Lauren Edwards, Fox.
Definitely, please go through and tell if you've seen him. Because this man, she was denied the first time. It took her 2 tries to get a protection order, and she was denied the first time. And when she finally got it granted, he didn't even get served, and she ended up dying a month later. Absolutely tragic, everybody. Absolutely tragic. But we had to bring that to everybody's attention. I had to bring that to everybody's attention. This man was abusing her, beating on her. She pleaded with the judge. The first time she didn't go through. It didn't go through. And then the second time it was granted, but it wasn't served. I don't know whose fault it was that it wasn't served, but the question is, would it have made a difference? Would it have made a difference? I would like to think it would, but we don't know. Absolutely tragic, everybody. Absolutely tragic. Women need to be there. You gotta be out here protecting women. That's what we always say, but we have to pivot over to Houston. We got to go over to Houston because a dozen women have been attacked in the Houston park. Yes, a dozen women have been attacked in the Houston park. So let's get over right into that video and see what all this is about. But it's sad. It's very sad that these are things we have to review, but we have to review them because we got to review the world together is what I always say. But remember to always pray for every victim, all the victims, but let's get right into it.
Nearly a dozen women have been targeted and attacked on multiple trails and at various parks in the area here in Houston. Police believe the man in this sketch you see here beside me is the person behind the attacks.
I'm not going to pause it too much, but it's a sketch, but if he actually looks like that, boy, let's keep going.
Fox 26's Jillian Hartman spoke with one of the victims who wants him caught here pretty soon. Jillian, I think we could all agree with that.
Yes, that's right. And I actually broke the news to one of the victims in this case that police have a sketch and description of her attacker. And she's relieved. She is one of many women here in Houston that just feel unsafe going on a walk. And she hopes that there's an arrest soon.
It's a relief to know that somebody got a better look at the guy than I did. Clearly, this is somebody who is a repeat offender, and because of that, he's a threat, and I hope they're able to
serial
find
predator,
him.
yes.
And this is just one step closer to doing that.
Over the past 4 months, nearly a dozen women have been attacked across Houston. These are the dates and locations we learned from police and women who have reached out to Fox 26. In each case, a woman was walking alone or with her dog, usually during their morning or afternoon walk. Every time, the woman was approached from behind by a man on a bike and was assaulted or groped. The most recent case was on July 31st along the Buffalo Bayou, where a pregnant woman was robbed and kicked in the stomach, causing a miscarriage.
That's very alarming, and I think
that's
when
murder.
I noticed
That's
you
murder for sure.
publish your first news story, I saw a comment that said, right now he's just grabbing, but he's working his way up to doing something worse.
Yeah.
They start small and then they work their way up
Gain
to
more
something
confidence,
worse.
and yes.
It's horrific that this person is out there doing things senselessly, and it resulted in a woman who was pregnant having a miscarriage.
He murdered the kid. We gotta say how it is. This man tried to grope and then it ended up beating or kicking a pregnant woman in her stomach and killing the kid. Absolutely, yeah. Put him under the jail, man. Absolutely crazy.
That's awful, and that's much worse than what happened to me. So, I hope that they do bring justice to the situation.
Houston police are asking for the public's help in finding this man they believe is connected to at least 5 attacks.
This man looks sick. Absolutely sick. Acne all over the face. Not brushing his teeth probably. God, man.
They say he's a white man in his mid-30s, brown hair, wearing a red helmet, black and white shoes, and had a navy blue or dark green bike. While police investigate, they are stepping up patrols at city parks and trails, which we saw along the Buffalo Bayou on Tuesday. Women have shared with us photos of their alleged attacker. So far, there have been attacks near Stewart Park, Crockett Street, along the White Oak and Buffalo Bayou trails, and the Brays Bayou Trail, where a man licked a woman's feet. Anyone who recognizes the man in this sketch connected to some of these attacks.
Was that the same dude? The man who, hold on, we got to back that up a tad bit. It said he licked the feet?
Along the White Oak and Buffalo Bayou trails and the Brays Bayou Trail, where a man licked a woman's feet. Anyone who recognizes the man in this sketch connected to some of these attacks, call Houston police or Crime Stoppers. Now, some women tell me that they are going to stick together, they're going to be extra vigilant, and they're going to walk in groups until there's an arrest. Reporting live, I'm Jillian Hartman.
Women, please, let's go back to this picture. Women, please, yes, walk in groups. Maybe get a bigger, stronger dog, because if they was walking with their dog, what did the dog do? The dog was supposed to go crazy, but maybe it's not one of the dogs meant to protect you, but. Yes, stay in groups, carry some pepper spray. If you're allowed to carry a gun, I don't know how the Houston gun laws are, but hey, carry some protection. Legally carry protection. Don't get out here committing crimes, but do something, because it is absolutely crazy. You have to be careful, ladies. Please, because. Someone would do this man, and he's escalating. This man escalated to kicking a pregnant woman in her stomach and killing her kid. Killing the unborn child. Please be careful. Carry protection, walk in groups. A man like this is more unlikely to attack women who are in groups. He's going to go for somebody alone. They didn't specify him having a weapon or anything. He just used his force. The force is strength. Golly, man. Absolutely crazy. When he is found, you know what he needs to be? Under the jail. And the people like this. Hey, what do I always say, y'all? What do I say? When he dies, he's in jail for life. And when he dies, put his ashes in there so his soul stay too. This is absolutely crazy. Kicking a pregnant woman until she miscarries. I wonder if they're going to charge him with murder. I wonder if they're going to charge him with murder for that. Because, he doesn't need to be out here in the public. He does not. Absolutely crazy. acne all over his face, breath probably stank. God.
Some of these attacks, call Houston police or Crime Stoppers. Now, some women tell me that they are going to stick together, they're going to be extra vigilant, and they're going to walk in groups until there's an arrest. Reporting live, I'm Jillian Hartman.
Like I said, ladies, just be careful. Be careful out there nowadays, because you never know what can happen. This man just pulls up on a bike behind you and ends up groping you. And hopefully, and then the unlucky ones who get him caught doing his escalation, you don't know what can happen. He already kicked a pregnant woman and killed the baby. But Jesus, hopefully the cops catch him. They're gonna have to, like they said, they got to increase police presence. You have to increase the police presence. Women walk in groups, carry some kind of protection if you're legally able to. And just have your head on a swivel. Have your head on a swivel. Get a bigger dog. Something. You have to do something to protect yourselves. Golly. I don't know if this was during the day or night, but maybe both. But absolutely crazy, y'all. Women, please protect yourselves. Ask the male friends that you have to go on walks with you from now on. Do something. Because he's targeting women who are alone or with their dog. And obviously it's not a dog going to stop him. It doesn't look, the dog. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But pray for all the victims. Pray for that pregnant woman. Absolutely crazy. But we're going to pivot now over into Louisiana. Louisiana ended up having a plant explode. And that plant explosion prompted evacuation. So let's get over into that and see what it's talking about. Let's jump right into it.
Take a look at this. This is from New Orleans, where there was a major plant explosion today. Take a look at this drone video that was captured, and you can just see the major fire and plume of smoke that was going up. And yeah, this is really something that you could just see how fast this fire did spread from this plant. We want to showcase the latest update from officials just a little bit ago.
In the area, I'm Robbie Miller, Tangipahoa Parish President. I have leadership from the various agencies that have responded to this event. We have a fire at Smitty's Supply in Roseland, Louisiana. The first call came in at 12:53 this afternoon, so we're barely 3 hours into this. At 1:15, there was an evacuation order for the immediate surrounding area of Smitty's. At 1:35, that evacuation area expanded to 1 mile around Smitty's, and that's where we stand right now. And at 1:45, we set up a staging command center here at the Florida Parishes Arena. We have multitude of agencies responding, including every agency in Tangipahoa Parish, first responder, fire, police, multi-parish from other parishes are bringing in folks to help. DEQ, EPA, Louisiana State Police are all monitoring the situation. DEQ is currently monitoring the environment and the situation to determine and guide us on what to do. The firefight is still going on. I'm sure y'all have seen the different pictures and so forth of what it looks like out there. The best news we have is that as of right now, there have been no injuries in this event, which is a godsend. So first of all, we want to thank the Lord for protecting all those people, that no one was injured in this event. So in the initial event through the firefight right now. So at this point, that's all we know. It's all the information we have. I will reiterate that we are doing our best to protect people, structures, and the environment. And all of those agencies are pulling together to do that. And the information that we get, as we get it, we will make sure that the citizens of the area know what's going on. But currently, that's not all we have to know, because quite frankly, we've been fighting a fire for 3 hours, and that's as far as we've gotten. So if you've seen it, you understand where we are, and that's pretty much what our statement is. Thank you very much for being here.
President, what is burning? Is it tank with chemicals in it burning? What is physically burning?
I personally don't know. Obviously, you can look from the pictures that there's anything that's on the ground there is pretty much burning. But specifically what it is, we'd have to ask someone else. And if the company wants to talk about it, they're welcome to.
Can someone address if there's any chemical risk to anyone?
Well, that's what, no, we can't right now because DEQ, EPA, DEQ on the scene, EPA may be here now. Personally was on a phone call with them knowing they're on the way. I'm not sure if they got here yet, but DEQ has definitely been here as quick as they could get here, and they've been monitoring the environment and the whole situation, and they'd have to advise us on where we are with those answers.
Still no idea what caused it. There was no light in the area at the time or anything like that.
We have no indication of what caused it at this point.
And the number of employees at Smitty's?
It's approximately 400.
400.
I'm sorry, can you speak a little louder? We do not have that answer, but I assure you that with the folks that are here, we will continue to fight that fight until we get it under control.
Do you anticipate expanding beyond a mile right now?
Not at this point.
Have you seen a, explosion situation to this magnitude before?
No, we have not. This is, quite unique and the first time for, I think, all of us here. I will tell you, I'll give you a little information that we do have some of our firefighters that are experienced in this because they worked in the petrochemical industry on the river. So they are involved on how to attack it. And we do have expert firefighter contracted folks that are here on site working too.
So right now, there's no idea if there is a environmental risk right now?
Again, the DEQ will, or EPA will explain that to us and give us that information and what we need to do at that time.
Is there still a risk of more tanks exploding and debris in the air, large debris?
Without being on scene and not being able to get a really good look at it, although we've got a decent look at it, I don't know that we can speak anything about what could happen next.
All right, folks. Thank you.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Official update from those members of, wow, this is Smitty's Supply, a lubricant manufacturer located in Roseland, Louisiana. Roseland is about an hour north of New Orleans and an hour east of Baton Rouge. But wow, this video is really, really something. It's showing it from the drone perspective, and really the best scenario happened here, though, with no injuries. So that is the best thing to come out of this big explosion. Of course, the investigation will continue. The Louisiana governor putting this out, saying we are monitoring the situation closely. Please follow the guidance of your local officials. We are praying for everyone's safety. And again,
absolutely crazy. Yes, it is a good thing that no one died from this explosion. Absolutely crazy. It said it's a lubrication facility, but let's get over into... Let's jump over and share my screen. So a little article about it. So it says it's like they said, Smitty Supply, a lubrication manufacturer located in Roseland. A large plume of smoke could be seen following the explosion. Let's see. So a mandatory evacuation has been issued following the explosion. The explosion reported shortly before 1 p.m. Governor shortly after ordered a mandatory evacuation for the immediate area and then expedited it to within 1 mile radius of the plant. Relocate immediately and stay away from the area until further notice. Let's see. An elementary school located within the evacuation zone was evacuating students to a location in the city, in the Amida city. I'm not good with names, y'all. Y'all know that. Main thing, good thing, no injuries have been reported. The fire remains still active. I don't know if it's still active right now. Let's see. It has been monitored. Manufacture, dispute, and distributes lubricants, including motor oils, according to... So it's probably motor oil, and that's why it's burning so long and hard to be put out. We are monitoring the situation, and please follow your local guidance. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. Luckily, like always, no one was hurt. Like they said, no one was hurt, but still a tragic situation. Probably very scary. But hopefully the workers will be able to. They can find somewhere else to work because it's going to take some repairs. Hopefully nothing happens to where they lose their job or anything like that. Because that's the main thing I think about, since no one was hurt. Next thing you got to think about is if the workers can come back to work, or if they're going to be out of the work for a little while. Those are the things we have to think about. But at the end of the day, we're just happy that no one lost their lives. But still a tragic situation for the company itself. Hopefully, we get some information on how it started. I'll be looking into that to see if I can find anything about how it was actually started. Man, let's see how long it actually takes for them to put it out. But absolutely crazy, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on any of that. Let me know your thoughts on anything else. But absolutely crazy. Now we're gonna pivot over into a police chase. So we got a police chase where the driver ended up being able to stop for gas. Yes, I said it. The driver was able to stop for gas during the police chase. So let's jump over into that video and see what it's talking about.
Let's get back to this breaking story. A pursuit of a stolen car suspect that covered a good portion of eastern and downtown Los Angeles, now ending here under the 10 freeway with the suspect still in the wind. Chris Christie with more. Chris.
Yeah, this pursuit termination now turning into a crime scene here. Some people coming out to take a look at what's going on along Alameda underneath the 10 freeway, where California Highway Patrol and the City of Bell Police are looking for clues as to what happened to the driver of that vehicle right there in the center of your screen, a GTA suspect behind the wheel of that stolen blue Infiniti. Jumped out of the vehicle underneath the 10 freeway. The vehicle rolled right into that light pole, and it is believed that the suspect got into another SUV underneath the freeway and basically disappeared into the night just north of the 10 freeway. And at this point, an investigation is now underway to try and figure out his next moves and what exactly happened there. Was it a meetup with a buddy, or was it a carjacking or something else? But obviously a major scene down here in East LA. Mark, back to you.
Yeah, it's interesting. They put yellow tape up. I don't know whether that was for crowd control or whether this is an indicator of something more serious or sinister happening with that vehicle. I'm guessing, given people were starting to kind of gather around it, so maybe it is just for crowd control. But yeah, it looks like you got the City of Bell, the Highway Patrol, a number of other agencies that have been involved in this. They are now looking for that other vehicle that apparently he got into. There it is in the video to your right. That SUV that sped out from underneath that overpass and took off from the scene, while the stolen car just creeps toward that telephone pole and ultimately is stopped by that telephone pole. So yeah, the suspect is out and on
they didn't
the loose
follow him, or they didn't
after a very wild pursuit that, among other things, saw the suspect stop for gas at a point where the police pursuing agencies had backed off. That's video we have from earlier too. He actually stopped at this gas station, got out, filled up the tank, it would appear.
Filled the tank.
And during that time, there were no police around him.
Face covered.
No police behind him. No apparently officers above him that we know of. And so he very casually filled up the car with gas, covering his face at the time. But you get a good look now at who this person is. Even though you don't get to see his face, you get a pretty good description of what he looks like. And he fills up the tank and then drives off. And what got him re-engaged here was the fact that he continued to drive so erratically after he had filled up his tank.
See, no one's saying anything. No, the people who are beside him, no one's saying anything. They're not even thinking about it. They're trying to mind their own business.
For this entire time, there were no officers behind him. He could have walked away from this car and would have gotten away scot-free. He chose not to do that, instead getting back on the freeways, driving at high speeds, basically forcing police to continue to pursue him and getting to the point where he is now under the 10 freeway, where that pursuit ended with him getting into another vehicle. We'll try to have more information for you on later editions of Eyewitness News. I guess I should say earlier editions of Eyewitness News, beginning tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. I'm Mark Brown, along with Chris Christie. Thanks for watching.
Absolutely crazy. This man over there stopped to fill up his car with gas. He could have easily, no one was following him, so he could have got away. Well, he might have gotten away. I don't know if he could have gotten away. Maybe he could have did some turns to get away, get out of camera, but a chopper was watching him at this point, so it's pretty hard to get away from a chopper on foot. So I understand why he got back in the car, but still stupid. Absolutely stupid. But I saw that and I had to talk about it. I've never, because I've thought about, I've seen those police chases and other things like that. And you always think about if they're going to run out of gas. This man didn't have to worry about that because he stopped at a gas station, filled up his tank, and was ready to keep going. I don't know why the police didn't get up close to him after that, or why they stayed so far away. Because that would have been the perfect time to catch him. Why are you so far back to where he could stop and fill up his entire tank? Well, I don't know if they said fill up his whole tank, but we don't know how long he was actually there. But why are the police so far back? Like, I understand you're trying to, I really don't know what they was trying to do. I don't know. Maybe stay back enough for safety reasons. But he stopped. As soon as the chopper would have said, oh, he's parked at the gas station filling up, you should have hit the gas and gone to get him. They would have obviously, if they were close enough, they could have got him easily. Blocked in his car, and he would have had to run away on foot. But now he got into another car and he's gone, and they're still looking for him. Absolutely crazy. That was just poor police judgment to me. But like, if I'm saying something wrong, tell me if I'm not understanding the police point of view. But to me, it just seems like when he stopped for gas, they had plenty of opportunity where they could have gone and got him. They shouldn't have been that far back to where they couldn't got him at that point. I don't know, but like I said, like I always say, tell me if I'm saying something wrong. Tell me if you disagree with anything I said. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. But we had to bring that to everybody's attention. Yeah, I don't know why they were so far back. I don't. But I might not understand the police procedures. I don't know, but just doesn't make any sense to me. Does not make any sense to me at all. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. But speaking of more people committing crimes, we got to go over into Miami. So let's go over into Miami to where it looks like a couple or two, a man and a woman, ended up following people with luxury watches from the club and robbing them. Now, be careful of your surroundings, and always have your head on a swivel. That is the main thing that I try to preach all the time, is have your head on a swivel and always watching your surroundings. Always. But let's jump right into this and let's see what it's talking about.
This is 7 News at 4:30.
First at 4:30, investigators calling this duo Rolex robbers, the two accused of going on a stealing spree before getting caught. Hello again, everybody. Time's up.
Police say they're greed for pricey timepieces left victims in fear for their lives. 7's Jessica Holly is live in Miami.
First of all, it's always they're on a crime spree and they get caught. They're not going to stop. Come on now, let's be honest. If you already made it through a couple of crimes, these people ain't going to stop. It's only the last time when they get caught. They always say before, oh, this is only going to be the last time. They say that, but then they get the junkies. It's kind of like they're ready to commit another crime. They can't do it. They say, oh, no, one more time ain't going to hurt. One more time ain't going to hurt. But let's keep going into this.
Miami Beach with more on this crime spree. Jessica.
Police say each time their work started at the club, watching people leaving and looking for expensive watches on their wrists. Then they would follow them home and pick just the right time to make their move. This pair is out of business. Miami Beach police announcing the end of a crime spree with the arrests of 30-year-old Dwight Gustave and 41-year-old Andrea Banks.
These two individuals not only preyed on victims who were leaving nightclubs, but specifically preyed on individuals with high-end watches.
Investigators say early Sunday they followed a couple home from a Miami club. As the victims hopped out of an Uber along the Venetian Causeway in Miami Beach, they were robbed of a purse and a $200,000 watch. Neighbors hearing all about it.
It's truly incredible. You know, you wouldn't expect it in a neighborhood like this.
Police say the pair also targets visitors. Monday morning, following a couple of guys leaving Live nightclub back to their hotel in the 4000 block of Collins. As they were sitting outside, both had their watches stolen. One of them hit over the head with a gun. The victims in this case, music producers from Texas. Their pricey timepieces prominently displayed on Instagram. Police say Gustave and Banks are tied to 2 other robberies in the first weekend of August. One along the 1800 block of Collins Avenue, the other in Miami.
These 2 are repeat offenders. They're experienced in what they do, and they're very, very precise in who they target, exactly what they want to steal, and they execute it at any means possible.
They have their methods down packed. As simple as that. They have their methods down packed. They've done it over and over again. Their methods are proven to them. Please, people, please, if you're going to wear high-end watches and show them off, you have to keep your head on a swivel. Simple as that. Because you don't know who is plotting on you. If you see somebody staring at you too long, it might be time for you to go. Let's be honest. It might be time for you to go. Especially if you're in places where you can't protect yourselves like you want to. But at the end of the day, if someone pops up right behind you because you're not watching and not keeping eye on your surroundings, don't matter how much protection you have, it's over with. If you have the gun to the back of your head and they hit you with the gun, it's over with. You're going to have to give it up. And don't fight. Please don't fight. Please don't fight. You're going to risk your life. Yes, it's a lot of money. They said one of them is a $200,000 watch. That's a lot of money. More money than a lot of people going to see. At least for a couple years. But it's not worth ending your life by fighting with them, fighting with a robber over a watch. That's crazy. I'm going to go ahead and give the watch up, file a police report, and for watches like that and high-end stuff, you get insurance coverage on those things. So contact the insurance company. And then it's going to take some time, but you're going to get the money back at least. Unless you just didn't go through that route, which I don't know why you didn't if you're getting high-end timepieces, these things that cost the same price of a house that you're wearing on your wrist. Come on now. Please have insurance on it at least. Don't just be like, oh, well, I got enough money to... Nah, why? If they're going to give you... If the insurance company will pay for it, why are you going to just not get insurance for it? But let's keep going and finish up this video.
Exactly what they want to steal, and they execute it at any means possible.
Gustave was released from state prison in May, and both he and Banks were on probation leading up to their arrests.
We urge anyone with any information or any other victims to come forward so that we can also hold these individuals accountable.
Look at them. They said they was just released. The dude was just released in May, and they're both on probation. The woman's 41, he's 30. She looked 41, but I guess people just can't get out the life of crime. Some people cannot stay out of the life of crime. They don't know, they don't want to get a regular job and work their regular 9 to 5. I guess it's not enough money for them because you're stealing $200,000 watches. But my first question is, how are you going to sell them? You're not going to get that $200,000. You're going to get maybe half. But then how are you selling? Do you have some places where you can sell them to? I'm assuming you do. You got contacts who will buy them. But you're not going to get anything close to the value of it. But I guess it's worth it to live that life. I guess it's worth it. I mean, I wouldn't do it. I don't understand people who do it. But absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. Let's finish.
Accountable for those crimes as well.
Police say when they searched Gustave's home, they found more than $170,000 in stolen valuables. If you think you were a victim, you need to reach out to Miami Beach Police or Crime Stoppers. We're live in Miami Beach.
So hold on. They found $170,000 in stolen valuables in one of the places. Hopefully, maybe the woman had some other watches, or he already sold, because remember he got that $200,000 watch. He might have already got it off. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. But goes to show some people. First thing, first thing that we learn from this is always have your head on a swivel is what I always say. If you're going to wear these expensive timepieces or watches, please observe your surroundings carefully. And if you're a band of high-end man, if you're a high-end individual or couple, you might need to hire some security. I don't know if you're at that level yet, but you need to do something because people are plotting on you. You're at the club, think you're having a good time. Bottles, girls coming, going crazy. And you got this 1-2 people over there watching you the whole night, peeping that you got a $200,000 watch on. You be like, all right, you get in the Uber, go back, go sit down outside the hotel for a little while. Next thing you know, you get hit in the back of the head with a gun and somebody taking your watch. And don't try to fight them because, hey, they don't care. He would have shot you and then he would have gone about his day. Not losing any sleep at night. Be careful out there, y'all. Please be careful because people don't care what they do. If they're trying to get that money, they've already lived the life of crime. They're already down. They're already there. They don't care. There's no need. They're not going to fight you for it. They're going to just shoot you. Yeah, just keep your head on a swivel, everybody. Keep your head on a swivel. People love to do it. You got people robbing. You got people scamming. So we got to go over to this. Next thing we're talking about is it looks like there's a new scam out there for debit cards. It looks like some kind of mail scam. So let's jump over into that and see what it's talking about. You have to be careful, everybody. You got to be careful, everybody. But let's jump over into this video and see what kind of new scam they're coming out with debit cards in the mail.
If you still get debit cards, credit cards, or checks in the mail, you need to know about this right now.
This menace just punched the mailman, scattering his letters across the street in a random act of violence.
Like they're opening the bank account, they're opening the credit card.
Postal workers across America are under attack.
Hey Siri, 911! Hey Siri, 911!
And it's not just when you get mail. They are even waiting for you to send your mail off.
So why have postal worker robberies jumped more than 500% since 2019? They're often after...
It's happened twice to Decatur pediatrician Carol Herman in the past 6 months.
Someone...
They got my check.
...stole her money.
In this video, I'm going to break down why you don't always get your debit cards, your credit card.
I'll leave a link to his video. We're trying to get into...
Man, scattering his letters across the street in a random act of violence. Unfortunately, it's not an isolated incident. Postal workers across America are under attack.
Hey Siri, 911! Hey Siri, 911!
Watch as masked men shove this New Jersey mailman to the ground as he cries for Siri to call 911.
Hey Siri, 911!
And when an armed robber points a gun at this postal worker in Ohio,
oh my God, here.
She pleads for her life.
I'm sorry, just go, no, please, no.
So why have postal worker robberies jumped more than 500% since 2019? They're often after a master key, similar to this. Every postal worker carries one to open mailboxes on their route. But in the wrong hands, authorities say it's like criminals having a key to the city. Watch as this couple uses one to casually unlock the mailboxes at an apartment building in LA with
going crazy. They open up in an apartment building, just taking everything. They're looking for checks, bank cards, anything that they can grab to either steal your identity, get that check and cash it somewhere. Absolutely crazy.
Within moments, they've stuffed 2 bags to the brim.
Once a criminal gets that key, it's an absolute free-for-all. Apartment panels, P.O. boxes, something has to be done.
Postal Police Association President Frank Albergo says mail theft has skyrocketed since the force was told in 2020 they only have authority to make arrests on post office property, not on public streets.
Now, I know what some of you all are thinking. Well, I'll just go into the post office as it's safer that way. Well, they won't steal the mail directly from you if you do it that way, at least not in front of you, but they will take it while being at work. Watch this.
The Ballantyne Post Office
is a hotbed for theft.
Yeah, we learned this location is home to more reports of stolen checks than any other post office in Charlotte.
So this is the statement from our tax accountant.
Kathy Dorff believed she did everything right.
Paid May 12th.
When she paid her tax accountant earlier this year.
I thought, I'll go to the post office because that's safer.
Dorff says she walked inside the Ballantyne post office and mailed a more than $3,000 check. But then, almost 2 months later,
I thought, oh, no, I paid it.
Her CPA reached back out, saying she still owed the money. She went online and looked at a copy of the deposited check.
I kind of like almost caught my breath. It was my signature, but none of the other information was in my handwriting.
That's when it clicked.
I realized, oh, I know what this is because I read about this.
Someone.
They got my check and they washed it.
Stole her money.
Usually these checks are stolen from mailboxes.
Check washing itself isn't new.
You get a chemical, you put it in a little wash bin, you can put a check in there, and the handwritten ink will come off.
The U.S. Postal Service has long warned about criminals stealing checks in the mail, altering them, and depositing the money. But in recent history, the problem's grown at the Ballantyne post office. WCNC Charlotte discovered more than 24 Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department reports for check theft here in less than a year. More than any other post office in Charlotte. Victims.
Somebody going crazy in that post office. Absolutely crazy, man.
Include a 91-year-old, businesses, and even a church. All after
Stealing
a federal
from a
investigation busted a former processing clerk at the Ballantyne post office for stealing more than 200 business checks worth $1.9 million and selling them.
Keys used to steal mail and identities.
It's becoming like a nightmare.
It happened to this mother from Queens. Her new Real ID was stolen from her mailbox.
Day after day, they're doing something like they're opening the bank account, they're opening a credit card.
And it's not just debit cards or credit cards. They want anything that's related to money. Check this out.
Philadelphia mail handler is accused of stealing more than 100 United States Treasury checks while on the job. Authorities identified the clerk as Sahir Irby. Investigators say he obtained the checks during a shift at the Philadelphia Processing and Distribution Center on Lindbergh Boulevard in Southwest Philadelphia last month. Irby allegedly sold the checks to a man at Rivers Casino who was wanted for robbing another casino in March.
I've been to this particular location multiple times for problems. Business owners tell us they know not to use these blue boxes outside, but they say even when they walk inside to drop off mail, checks are being stolen.
These are copies of checks that I wrote out that were hijacked.
Yeah, so somebody inside the office is stealing. Absolutely crazy.
It's happened twice to Decatur pediatrician Carol Herman in the past 6 months. Her business checks stolen after being dropped in the mail here.
The check was changed from $100 to $5,000 and cashed the very same day that I put it inside this Decatur post office on Ponce.
Herman met restaurant owner Nareet McCrary at the bank last week because he was there for the exact same reason. His checks also stolen after being dropped off at the same post office.
And on the picture, the check, it's not my handwriting. They leave only my signature, that's it.
Channel 2 Action News has reported on mail check fraud across Metro Atlanta extensively for 3 years now. Just on Monday, this Gwinnett County couple were victims. The Postal Service Inspector General acknowledges many of these are inside jobs.
Now, we know some of the post office employees were doing this, but I didn't expect them to be so arrogant online on how they were spending your money. You won't.
Oh, yeah, absolutely correct. I just did a video on a woman, USPS worker, who's over here posing. She got the money phone now. She got the money phone posing with the money. Acting like, oh, yeah, I ain't got enough money to do all that. But, yeah, she got the money phone doing all of that. They love to do all of that, y'all. Yeah, see, that's the one right there. Yes, we just did a
posted about lavish trips to Hawaii tonight.
We just did a video on her, y'all. Go back and look at that video. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. People do not care. I think we got the gist of everything with that, but people do not care. You don't know who is going to try to steal your check. You don't know. I mean, it's sad to say it, but there's bad people in every industry, though. There is bad people in every industry. Scammers and everything like that. They're not just taking your debit cards, they're taking your checks, they're taking your IDs, anything to open up an account. So you have to be aware. You got to keep your identification on lock. Go get a service to help you keep track of everything. I mean, it's absolutely sad. People are stealing, getting their change. They said they changed $100 to $9,000, something crazy like that. Something crazy like that. You just think you're trying to deposit a little $100 in there, and the next thing you know, they say your account is empty 9,000. Your account's empty negative 9,000. That's what mine would say. Mine would say, oh yeah, negative 8,000, something. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Be careful. Please be careful. And the people who attack mail workers and are inside, who work in the mail and are stealing from citizens, send them away. Send them away. I don't want any, there's no leniency. No leniency. None of that. Nah, they especially if you work in there, no leniency. But then if you're attacking mail workers, good mail workers, nah, send them all away. Scammers, anything like that, send them all away. Absolutely crazy. Please keep your identity unlocked. Make sure you're looking over any kind of suspicious emails, anything like that. Don't reply to text. Don't log into suspicious websites. Yeah, you just got to be careful nowadays, because with the higher end, with newer technologies coming out, scams are getting more elaborate. And you won't know. So you got to do your own research before you just go in and put your social security number in someplace. Be careful out there, y'all. Please be careful. Absolutely crazy. Let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know if you've been scammed anyway. Let me know if you've experienced any check fraud or anything like that. If someone has changed your check and stolen your check and then changed the amount. It's a cold world out here, y'all. It's a cold world. But we got to keep living it, so we got to review the world together so we can fight against this stuff and keep our head on a swivel. But so we're going to pivot over into California. It looks like something outrageous is popping up in California. Bubonic plague. Yes, I said it right. Bubonic plague. I don't know. I haven't watched any videos of this, but we got 2 videos to look at. It looks like bubonic plague was found in the lake or in some kind of ticks or something. Let's jump over into it without guessing around what it's about. But bubonic plague, the Black Death, absolutely crazy. But let's jump into it.
I think it's crazy. I didn't even know the plague was still something that was going on.
For both visitors and residents of South Lake Tahoe, it's shocking to hear about a case of the bubonic plague.
This was very news to me, and that's scary.
But the cases are rare, but they do occur.
Heather Orchard, the nursing manager for El Dorado County Public Health, says plague bacteria are commonly found in higher elevation areas. It's carried by rodents and often transmitted by fleas.
So this person was camping in an area in South Lake Tahoe and was bitten, likely by a flea.
That person is now getting medical treatment and recovering at home.
A lot of the symptoms are very common: nausea, vomiting, muscle aches, a bite that they may have noticed.
While these cases can be serious, they are curable.
It's treated with antibiotics and it's early identification.
The last human case of plague in El Dorado County was in 2020, but officials are routinely tracking it.
Oh, wow.
So far this year, 4 rodents have tested positive in the Tahoe Basin.
We should have something letting people know that, hey, be careful, wear something. We should make some aware to people.
Yeah, this wasn't even a thought in my mind that they still had bubonic plague out there. I mean, I might just be ignorant, but it's not something that would have just occurred to me. I'm thinking they would die out. Or it was only in labs that are just like still studying it, like smallpox and other stuff like that. I would have never thought that rodents still have it, but they say it's curable, completely curable with antibiotics. Yeah, so that's what made it so deadly. They didn't have antibiotics back then and stuff like that, and they didn't have ways to handle their waste and dead bodies and all that good stuff. So it was way deadlier than it was, but it's still something crazy to think about. Something that was so deadly in the past is still going on now. Let's keep going.
Still, there are a lot of questions from people who frequent the area.
Is this the only place it's been happening?
About a disease they first read about in their history books and the latest person to test positive.
We thank you for absolutely crazy, y'all. But let's get over into this next video about it. Just another video, another viewpoint. Let's get into it.
With less than 2 weeks to go until the Labor Day weekend, a warning from officials in South Lake Tahoe after a person contracted the plague. Crowd 4's Lindsay Ford spoke with health officials and outdoor experts about how you can stay safe if you're planning to visit the area for the holiday weekend.
Well, this is still the same kind of bacteria that we're all familiar with when we hear bubonic plague, but we are way ahead from a medical perspective of how we deal with it than we were back in the Middle Ages.
Last week, a South Lake Tahoe resident became ill and later tested positive for the plague. Carla Haas, the Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for El Dorado County, says health officials believe the infection was likely caused by a bite from an infected flea. She adds that while the word plague may seem a little scary, it is treatable.
And while it's a very serious disease, we don't want people to panic. It's also extremely treatable. If somebody seeks medical attention from their provider, relatively quickly, they can be treated with antibiotics very successfully, just like this particular person was.
When people think about outdoor safety, they often worry about wildlife. But as Ryan Forbes with the California State Park
never would have thought about plague. I don't care where your mind goes. You would never, if you're camping out, you're never going to think, oh, I could get the plague. The plague? Absolutely.
Bay Area District points out it's just as important to watch out for harmful insects like ticks, fleas, and mosquitoes.
Notice I'm in long sleeves. It's still summer. If I'm going to be pushing around in the bush, if I'm going to be moving around out there's going to definitely be a chance of getting bugs on me. And having this protection between them and my body is always going to be good.
Experts recommend wearing long sleeves, pants, and high socks, along with bug spray to keep insects away.
Prevention is always the big key whenever we're talking about health.
They also advise staying on clear trails and avoiding brushing against shrubs or tall grass where insects like to hide. Echoing Forbes's warning, Haas also urges people to avoid contact with wild rodents.
So all those cute little chipmunks and squirrels that we see and we're tempted to give peanuts to, stay clear from them. Give them their space.
Lindsay Ford, Cron 4 News.
Absolutely crazy, y'all. But we got, because I haven't looked at any information on the plague back in the day, or called the Black Death, since I was back in I was back in elementary or middle school. But let's just a little breakdown of it, just so us to remind us what it actually was. So estimated. So this back in the bubonic plague, back in between 1348 or 1346 and 1353, killed estimated 25 to 50 million people in Europe, representing 30 to 60% of the European population. Some sources suggest that the death toll was even higher, reaching 200 million. However, this is widely less accepted. It is important to note that the plague continues to spread and cause outbreaks in other parts of the world for centuries after the initial European outbreak. For example, the third plague pandemic in 1894 to 1929 is estimated to kill, 12 million people in Asia? Wow, I did not know that. The only one I really know about is the one I was taught about in school is the European one back in the 1346. Absolutely crazy. But the main thing is what they said: be careful when you are out there in the woods, especially use long sleeve, bug spray, all that stuff. Don't be trying to pet and cuddle with the squirrels and the cute little chipmunks. Nah. Keep them all away. Keep them all away, because yes, it is curable, but it's not something I would want to catch. I don't care if it is curable. The idea of me catching the bubonic plague might sound cool to some people, but nah. I don't even want to, because I might be that one person who my body wasn't built for. Nah, I'm not trying to be a statistic. But Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Did you know that the bubonic plague was still going around? Or we're still had some cases? It's rare, but still some cases out there? Tell me your thoughts. Tell me your thoughts. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Wow. But it's time to pivot. Got to pivot over into the T app. The T app. If y'all remember what the T app was, little reminder. Well, let's see. We just see Google's our friend, y'all. T. So what is the T app? The T app that everyone's always talking about is a resource. So it was made as a resource for, hold on, wow. It's easier just to show my screen to everybody so they can see what I'm looking at. So the T app everyone is talking about is a dating app and resource, advice app and resource for women to vet men they are dating or interested in dating by sharing information, checking background information, and reporting bad behavior. The app launched in 2023. It functions somewhat like Yelp for dating. So that is what it's about. But it looks like it's been causing some problems. It's been causing some problems and some divorce. So we're going to look at that news report that they're talking about for it causing divorce. And we're going to get over into a TikTok that a lady made where she explains all the bad things that was happening at the actual T app, the office who controlled the T app. So let's get over into this video about the divorce spikes first.
The popular and controversial T app designed to warn women about the men they're dating is hit with a new backlash. Good evening, everybody. I'm Roop Raj.
And I'm Mimi Lang. This time, the app is being blamed for more divorces in one Metro Detroit community. Fox 2's Dave Kinchin joins us live with more. Tell us all about this, Dave.
Well, this one is all the tea, really. This is a dramatic one. There's a family attorney we spoke with who says he's seeing an increase in divorce filings because of apps like T. Let's go to some video. Going to tell you all about this one here. Now, he says that this area, Dearborn, is a close-knit community where everybody knows everything. And what he says, and we're talking about attorney Muhammad Ali Hamoud, he says there's more domestic conflicts also taking place because of anonymous posts claiming certain men are cheating on their spouses or accusing them of serious crimes or unethical behavior. It's leading.
Yep, that is the problem that I've been hearing about a lot. I've been hearing about it a few times where they're talking about the information that they're posting is not actually real. And it's just people who are angry with the person or just want to spread chaos. I don't know. I'm not saying that all the information on there is fake, but there's not a good vetting process. And we'll get into that when we go over the TikTok video that the lady made who used to work
to their wives to file for divorce. As you may know, T is an app that allows women only to post anonymously about the men they have dated. You'll hear from the attorney, but also a women's advocate coach, women's empowerment coach, who says apps like T help keep them safe. Take a listen.
For example, when a post were to go live of a certain man, it might be an accountant, it might be a lawyer, it might be a doctor, it tends to spread like wildfire, and the rest of the community just knows whether it's true or not is really the main issue. Usually the men asking for me to file some kind of defamation suit, saying a lot of the stuff is false or misleading. And then the women on there seeking guidance, what are their options? Do I file for divorce? My husband has been posted on this app. Other girls say they've been talking to him. He may have been cheating.
It's hard to verify, someone's claims on there. But that being said, I think the way that I've been able to kind of gauge what's true is when you start to see multiple claims from women about the same person. Like I ended up on a date and one of these apps basically saved me from continuing to go out with someone who had multiple reports of raping prostitutes. So that was, a very terrifying thing to say. And it wasn't just one woman coming forward to say this. This was multiple women that were documented on multiple different accounts. So I think that there's just a certain degree of protection that comes when women are allowed to have a safe space.
Well, attorney Muhammad Ali Hamoud says that there are defamation suits that are being filed by his office. He's seeing an increase there too, but he says those can run you about $10,000. Coming up tonight on The Edge, we'll tell you more about what attorneys say you can do if you find information on sites like that that you say isn't true. That's next. For now, reporting live in Dearborn, Dave Kinchin, Fox 2 News.
Yeah, this story has a lot of legs, a lot of different aspects. I mean, people are talking about perhaps this app being related to potential data breaches, data privacy, and other legal issues against the app.
Yeah, there's more than about 70,000 images that have been reported to have been leaked by this app. There's another thing, too, that the attorney we spoke with said. A lot of these cases, especially in divorce, questionable communications that would build one's case for divorce, a lot of those are being generated by AI, and even posts like that on certain types of websites.
Gotta be careful, y'all. AI is out there getting
that attorneys
powerful.
are sorting through as well as part of these defamation suits.
All right, well, let's just spill the tea more on the T app tonight on The Edge at 11. We'll see you in a few minutes. Thanks so much for that.
Absolutely crazy. But let's get over into this TikTok video to where the woman was actually talking about, she was talking about because she worked at the T app, or she worked for the company, the T app, who ran the T app. So let's get over right into that, and let's see what this video is talking about.
For their legal department. You'll understand why I say it like that in a minute. Upon sharing my story, another woman has reached out to me saying she had a very similar experience that I had. In fact, I would actually say her experience was worse than mine. And I know some of you are going to be mad just because I worked for the app. I've already gotten threats. I want to clarify a lot of things, and I want everyone to hear me out. Now, I am a victim survivor of domestic violence myself. I work with victims, and I also have experience working as a paralegal. And when I saw the T app was hiring for the legal department, I felt aligned with their mission. I was told it was to help keep people safe, and it was also to actually look into these claims and what was posted. And it was remote work. So of course I applied. I started working for him. And I honestly would not say that this was legal work. I would not say that this is in line with anyone doing paralegal work anywhere close to it. And I was highly concerned not only on the process, but things that were posted, things that were shared, that were allowed, process that I just did not agree with, and I voiced my concern. Now, again, as someone who works with victims of domestic violence, I do believe that victims should be sharing their stories, and I do think that people should be keeping themselves safe and protecting other people. I do think that two things can be true at the same time, that there are true stories out there, and there's also false claims and spam and hurting people because of a bad breakup.
Now, yes, absolutely correct. The victims of domestic abuse should share their stories. That is what we want to hear. We want to hear about your experiences, and also I believe it helps the victims as well when they can talk about their stories. But we can't forget about the people who make false claims and are just angry at the person, and they'll say anything to just ruin their reputation. We're talking about male or female, anybody who does that should be held accountable by law. But let's keep going into this video.
When I spoke up, I personally feel that I was retaliated against. My payment was delayed. I was essentially told to be quiet and follow his process. My hours were cut. And eventually he cut my pay by 2/3. This was not something that he agreed with me on. He unilaterally decided that. And eventually he ended my working relationship with him. Again, I brought up several concerns right before this happened. Just quit. And upon essentially terminating our contract.
I was wondering why she didn't quit, but it sounds like her goal was to be there for the victims. And that's what she wanted to do. So, but if the company is not doing right by the victims or not spreading the right message, why stay there? But let's keep going.
I received text from him saying that I reached out to help and kind of implying that I should be working for him for free. And I, of course, didn't respond because I'm not going to work for a platform that I felt was not staying true to its mission in advertising, and there was concerning matters. And I'm not going to work for someone who is making money off of this, and I'm doing the work for free. When I shared my story with this woman as well, she had a very similar experience. I'm hoping that she shares her because it's not my story to tell. But I do believe that there's other people who also work for him who had a very similar experience. Now, again, if you want to continue to support the app, by all means, feel free to do it. I personally feel that if you're a victim of domestic violence, I don't feel that this is a safe platform. You can make your own decision and decide from there what you'd like to do. I would not honestly recommend anyone working for him based on my experience and this other woman's experience. Mine was not a one-off. I am highly concerned about their actual mission, the facts behind it, and their process. I will also say that I have been in contact with some lawyers who have open lawsuits, and I do believe that people need to protect themselves. I'm highly concerned with everything going on. Again, you can do with that information what you will. Some things I just can't say because I did sign a contract. I'm speaking on the things that I can absolutely say, and I hope that, you know, this sheds light on everything and people see that, again, two things can be true at the same time. And I hope that I can also connect with other people who have gone through the same thing so we can shed light on if this happened to other people and at the end of the day, keeping people safe.
Yeah. Completely 100% understandable. Very understandable to me. Now, about the divorces, we don't know. I don't know if you're 100% sure of what is shown on there is 100% true. But do your own research. That's the main thing. It sounds like to me is that people can post things that, yes, it could be true, but at the end of the day, it could be someone just jealous and upset about what is happening in your own relationship. Someone who has a vendetta to push, but I don't know. But I never agree with divorce anyway. Unless, let me say that. I agree with divorce in certain cases. I don't believe that if you're just unhappy for a little bit of time, you should get divorced. I think you should be able to work through it. If there's any kind of abuse or anything like that, of course, get divorced. Shouldn't be together. If there's any kind of endangerment, yes, get divorced. But if it's things that the ups and downs that happen in a normal relationship, if you're bored, no. Don't get divorced. Maybe you should have never got married in the first place if that's how you're gonna feel. But tell me your thoughts, y'all. Tell me your thoughts on the T app. Do you agree with it? I mean, the idea of a T app sounds fine to me. Women vetting, posting things, but the main thing is how are you gonna tell the things that are true? That is the question. How do you tell that the things on the app itself are true? Do you, like that one girl said, do you just go by if multiple people have said it? Or is it just you believe everything that's on there? Which absolutely crazy to me. But that is what I was thinking, and I saw that, so we had to talk about it. Everybody's been talking about the T app. I know the men have made their own T app, and I think they have their own problems with leaking nude pictures and stuff like that. It gets crazy. It gets crazy out there. But out there, just do your own research, y'all. Don't just go off the exactly what somebody says and might put an idea in your head to do your own research, but you can't just believe it right away because you never know if it's true or not, especially based on what she's saying and what other people are saying. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But let's pivot over into the last subject today. The last subject we're going to talk about is Carnival Cruise. So it looks like a video is going viral over Carnival cruisers fighting over chicken tenders. Yes, I said it. Carnival cruisers fighting over chicken tenders. Now, all this brought in everybody's attention is from when Carnival changed their rules, and some people were saying it was racist for them to change their rules because it sounded like they were trying to stop black people from going on it. I personally don't go to Carnival Cruise. I'm a Royal Caribbean man myself. So I just because of what I've seen in videos in the past, I made that determination when I first started to go on a cruise to where Carnival wasn't my thing. I went on a Royal Caribbean. But let's get over into this video. We'll watch the video of the fight itself. It's about a minute long video of that fight, and then we'll get over into the new rules, and then some people on TikTok talking about it. But let's get right into it and see these Carnival cruisers fighting over chicken tenders. Let's get into it. Let's get right into it.
People rave about cruises, but I've always been put off by the thought of being trapped on a boat with people that I might not like, and I would have hated to have been trapped on this Carnival cruise as it came back into Miami, where a massive brawl broke out on the ship, and you never believe what it was about: chicken tenders. Have a look. Yeah, the cruise ship should have had more chicken and everything would have been sweet. Oh boy, I can't imagine anything worse. Where do you go to escape that when you're on a...
Nowhere. And I love in that video, you see the security guard get on his walkie-talkie and walk away. He's like, I'm not dealing with these people. No way. They can fight it out.
Absolutely crazy, everybody. It's absolutely crazy. Now let's get over into this next. Hold on, let me... see if we can find anything else, a longer video, because you know where you got to go for that. You got to go over to Twitter. Twitter is the best place to go, so let's go over into this and jump right into it. Let's get this out the way. Here, screen share. Let's see what this one is. He said, get off me, get off me. Over chicken tenders is crazy. Absolutely crazy. It looks like that's the whole video. The rest is just going to be some music playing in the background. But absolutely crazy, y'all. I can't imagine seeing a fight break out on a cruise over chicken tenders. I don't know if that's the actual thing, but that's what he's saying. Chicken tenders. I don't know where that turned into a brawl about. But the whole thing that's happening with Carnival is that people were saying that it's stuff like this that's making Carnival change their rules in the first place. But let's get over into see what the actual rule changes were. So we got a little quick Google search. You know, Google is always our friend. So let's hear a breakdown of the changes right here. So you got the Bluetooth speaker ban. Carnival has banned Bluetooth and personal speakers in public areas to ensure public safety announcements can be heard by all passengers. Passengers under 18 need to leave public areas by 1 a.m. unless participating in supervised activities or accompanied by adults. Makes sense to me. Ban handheld fans. Certain handheld fans, particularly those used in dances, have been banned due to safety concerns. I don't know where that comes from. Prohibition of narcotics. Marijuana, THC products, and CBD are not allowed on board, and they are classified as a controlled substance. Yeah, that makes sense. And then more rigorous enforcements. And there are some misconceptions. Carnival has clarified that there is no ban on hip-hop music or dances, like the wobble. Okay? Not all new rules are new. Some of the restrictions being discussed are not recent changes, but rather policies that have been placed for some time. There's a lot of misinformation on social media, and the increased enforcement is to strictly enforce some policies that may be seeing fights and stuff like that. That makes me there needs to be more enforcement. It's not hard for me to understand. Not hard for me to understand. Now, some people saying that it's racist. So let's get over to that. And let's get into this little video right here. Let's get over into this next one. So she's saying it's racist. So let's see what she has to say.
Carnival Cruise Line does not like black people, and they don't want black people taking their cruises, okay? It started off with the speakers telling people that they can't bring speakers no more. Why would you not want people to be able to bring speakers?
Well, it looks like niggas are complaining again. The Jungle Bunny music and the nigga activity is no longer allowed on the Carnival cruise. They have now banned fin popping and pussy popping on Carnival because they are tired of these reverse vitiligo victims.
She ain't have to. She like Ruckus. If you've seen the Boondocks, you understand what this is. But absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. We'll watch. Let's
fucking up their brand. The situation with the Carnival Cruise is nothing more than the outcome that they fucking deserve. According to the documentary that I watched about the people who were forced to piss in showers and shit in bags, Carnival Cruise has been on the chopping block for quite some time with the non-black customers. Just like any other brand that is losing money, and the only way they feel that they could do it is by exploiting black dollars, they're getting exactly what they paid for. Let's be honest, growing up, we always thought Carnival was just a place where the wealthy may go and vacation. People who may be celebrating retirement or celebrating being or getting married, honeymoon, even at some instances, just a family vacation. It was never a place where people was up there pussy popping and boots on the ground and popping fans and shit. Let's be honest, we should know by now that rap music in general has a certain type of vibration, very low vibration at that. The amount of fights and ghetto activity that I've seen in these videos when it comes
all
to
on Carnival, y'all. All on
it was
Carnival.
only a matter of time before they were going to go ahead and ban it. I mean, truthfully, I don't even put it on the people. We all know how the subculture of Black America is. I blame the company for trying to lower their brand. It's no different than what's going on with Red Lobster. You all seen that you was on the brink of bankrupt, appears to be a black man in charge. Now you have brought upon an item that is very popular amongst the black community to try to attract more black dollars. You failed miserably. Same thing going on with Carnival. One thing that I noticed while watching that documentary yesterday, what the maritime lawyer revealed is that Carnival had several incidents to where they had engine issues, and instead of investing in actually fixing the issue, they only put a damn Band-Aid over a bullet hole. I guess it's safe to say that you got what you paid for.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotta call a spade a spade. Hold on, let's get rid of this screen scare. I'm messing up. We gotta call a spade, man. There's with anything like Spirit Airlines, Frontier, the cheaper places. Carnival is one of the cheaper cruising companies. Yes, it is good to be able to have a cheaper cruise so people can, but we got to be honest that it does. The lower price invites people who aren't respectful to their surroundings. Royal Caribbean, yes, it costs more. Definitely costs more than Carnival. I seen that. I was shocked by let me see. Still, it's a crazy, not a crazy jump, but it's more expensive than Carnival. I will got to be honest about that. But the environment was more. The environment was just more relaxing on it. It was more relaxing. I got to be honest about how it was. It was more relaxing. Now, I haven't been on a Carnival cruise, but how everything's happening, I don't know if I want to. I don't care about spending a little bit more money. People who usually spend a little bit more money at stuff are more well reserved just because they spent more money and they want to be treated and act like they spent more money to be here. If you can get on a cruise for $300, hey, they're gonna do what they do. But I mean, they're trying to it sounds like they're trying to not rebrand, but they're trying to get more of their core customers back. Now I might be saying that wrong, but I don't know, man. I don't think that the changes were racist. When I was on a cruise, my thought wasn't to bring a speaker and play music out loud. No, I thought if I wanted to listen to my own music, I'd have my headphones on. But the main thing I've always seen on Carnival is the fights. That's the main thing to where I knew I didn't want to go on it. That was the main thing that had my judgment. Was like, yeah, listen, I'm not going to go with Carnival. I'm going to go with Royal Caribbean. Because anytime I see a fight break out on social media or anything like that, is usually on Carnival. It's as simple as that. It's usually on Carnival. But, hey, tell me your thoughts, y'all. Tell me your thoughts on the whole Carnival thing. People, they fighting over chicken tenders now. It's getting outrageous. It is truly getting outrageous. But absolutely crazy. I wonder were they out of chicken tenders? Did someone grab someone's chicken tender that they was about to pick up? Why chicken tenders? Why chicken tenders? But like I always say, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you disagree with any of the things I said. Tell me if I'm just hitting off the mark. Do you think Carnival is racist? Those are some good questions. But let me know what you are. But like always, please remember that this is AC Reviews the World, and I am your host, AC the Engineer. Please remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram. I'm also on TikTok, trying to get more stuff uploaded on TikTok. But yeah, please leave a comment of what your thoughts are if you disagree with anything I said. But remember that at the end of the day, we got to review the world together. All these crazy things is happening, but we have to review the world together. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for tuning in later. And just, hey, thank you for rocking with me. But y'all already know what I got to do. I got to play the outro. I'll probably be working on, I might update the intro video a little bit. But hey, that's it for today. Hope you have a good weekend. You already know the videos will be broken down so everybody can see them. But that's it for me. Peace.